Hello everybody, welcome to the review. It is 8:31 p.m. I just came home after watching The Fall Guy, the action romantic comedy starring Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Winston Duke, Aaron Taylor Johnson, directed by David Lech. And as per usual, it'll be spoiler free except for one minor spoiler. And as per usual, if you happen to like the content of my channel, hit the subscribe button below, spread the word to your friends and family. And without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss what I thought about this film. The Fall Guy is loosely based off a 1980s television series of the same name about this stuntman who moonlights as a bounty hunter. However, this film specifically is more about a stuntman who is attempted to reconnect with his past life as well as the love of his life, using the concept of paying tribute to the overall stunt work when it comes to a lot of these action adventure extravaganza type films. It's interesting to note that this film is very much a love letter paying tribute to the hard-working stuntmen when from films from the 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s and early 2000s. It's very interesting how we don't see enough recognition when it comes to the stunts, simply because now with the advancement of technology, it's very difficult to determine what is actually practical effects or CGI. Granted, there are some levels of CGI that appears very realistic. With this film is paying more tribute to the concept of practical effects rather than the initial focus of the computer generated imagery era. This film is a combination of uh, action, comedy, and romance. And David Lech, anyone who's familiar with his work, is the man behind John Wick, Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, Bullet Train, and now The Fall Guy, where he's deviating more away from, well, temporarily deviated away from the gritty, dark action adventure films to more of the lighthearted, campy nature when it comes to The Fall Guy. And what I really enjoyed about this film was not only the overall concept of the story, the dialogue, and the comedic chemistry that Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling have with one another. It truly does paint a significant picture as far as this is the intrigue when it comes to the behind the scenes moments of stunt work. You don't see the recognition of the stuntman, and for them actually to kind of more or less break the fourth wall when it comes to breaking down the overall concept of stunt work, I found was ridiculously remarkable. I thought it was absolutely amazing how they managed to tie in a few jokes here and there. The minor spoiler that I'm going to fill you in on is one of the characters asked Ryan Gosling's character, Colt Siebert, is there an Academy Award category for stuntmen? He said no. And when you think about it, it's kind of sad. It's really sad that there is no recognition, there is no award concept for the stuntman. And I guess that has more to do with the fact that the advancement of technology has essentially eliminated the need for dangerous stunt work, unless you're, say, Tom Cruise or Jackie Chan. This film has, once again, it's about him attempting to reconnect with the love of his life. Unfortunately, he's tied into this murder mystery where he's having to piece together exactly what happened. And lo and behold, all this insanity unfolds, and now he's having to really become this fish out of water type element. And that's where the film truly excels. The magnetic comedic chemistry that Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling have with one another is just immense. It was perfect. I loved how they interacted with one another. The dialogue was so cleverly written, and the comedy, it was just what you could tell, it wasn't forced. It was organically written and performed to meticulous perfection from Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Now, admittedly, I wasn't the biggest fan of Ryan Gosling before. It wasn't until I watched him in Barbie and I was like, wow, this guy, he's actually really funny. There's something about him that not only is he charming and captures your attention, but he just has this ability to take any comedy, no matter how lame it might be, and still make it funny, because his reactionary moments is what sells the dialogue, and he does a perfect job with this. I loved the interaction that him and Emily Blunt have with one another. Her being more of the straight man, if you will, and having to match his same type of deadpan delivery made it all the more worthwhile watching the film. And the action sequences was just ridiculous as well. For a PG-13 action film, they really did a great job as far as pushing the boundaries when it came to the violence, and having the as far as including the dynamics of profanity as well. It really just gave you a true sense of maybe this is exactly what Live Free or Die Hard should have been. Not yeah, Live Free or Die Hard should have been more, not so much attempted to water down, but simply have the action and have the overall intensity still matched what the audience is with what the audience is viewing when it comes to their expectations. Winston Duke also another highlight, and then you have Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is the the douchey the douchey current hip star of this film. He sells it too. I loved watching him because I really enjoyed him in Bullet Train and of course both Kick-Ass films. Which is also, if you get a chance, please do watch the first Kick-Ass and the second Kick-Ass film. Excuse my language, but those are amazing films. So please do get a chance to watch those whenever the time allows you to. But I really did enjoy this film, and along with the comedy and the romance and the action, another amazing highlight that I fully embraced was the overall inclusion of the great music with the soundtrack. There's Kiss, there's Phil Collins. I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, but there's a song in here that really fits the moment as well, and I thought that was pretty cute. Then you just have a lot of the darkness. I believe in a thing called love. Just everything about this film, I truly found immensely entertaining, enjoyable, charming, fun, exciting, and it's exactly the type of film that I do believe, once again, that is needed in these current times of uncertainty. It definitely provides the true element of what it means to escape within the moment of this action romantic comedy type story. And David Lesh does an amazing job. I mean, I never would have thought that he would have had this type of filmmaking vision in his head, and it just everything about this film is, I do believe, is what I'm always interested in watching when it comes to going to the cinemas. And it also helps that you have David Lesh and Ryan Gosling at the very beginning of the film thanking the audience for coming to the theater and enjoying the final product where it needs to be, and that's within the cinema setting. So that, to me, I'm going to go ahead and say The Fall Guy. I understand that there's also an element of maybe there's different tones where it's full-blown romance comedy, then it just quickly goes into the action adventure type of material, but overall it's still perfect. I absolutely had a great time with it. Very funny, very enjoyable and charming, and please be sure to stay for the scene after the credits. It's very much worth it. That is my review of The Fall Guy. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10. If you have watched it, let me know in the comment section what you thought about it, and you'll be hearing from me again. My next review is most likely going to be Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I hope you all take care. Peace out.